live. Hi, I'm Cindy Speaker, and I have with me today Noelle Black, who is a non-attorney representative with Gardberg and Kemmerly. How you doing, Noelle?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good, good. Well, we're going to try out this technology again. You know, sometimes it's temperamental. You never know, but
Yes.
we'll figure it out as we go.
Okay.
So Noelle is going to share with us some of the frequently asked questions and, of course, the answers relative to Social Security disability. So I'm going to ask you a few questions here, and we'll get your input on that and your feedback.
Okay.
And by the way, you deal with these cases on a regular basis. Is that correct?
Yes, every day. Every day.
Every day. Okay. All right. So let me get my first question here. All right. If I become disabled, when should I file for Social Security disability benefits?
You should do so immediately. The Social Security process is a long process and it can be time consuming. And the sooner you get filed, the sooner you get the ball rolling, hopefully the sooner you'll get benefits. Do not wait. You can contact your local Social Security office, go to your local Social Security office in person, or you can file online at www.ssa.gov.
Okay. Very good. And what do I need from my doctor before filing for Social Security benefits?
Well, you need to have a treating physician, or if you go into one of the local clinics, if you do not have insurance, you should discuss with your doctor or nurse practitioner the fact that you're filing for Social Security disability benefits. The Social Security Administration, or if you have a representative, will be requesting records and documentation from them. Sometimes we ask for their opinion about your abilities to work. So those are the most important things, is to be getting treatment.
Okay. And on that note, do I need an attorney's office to assist me in the claim? And is that helpful?
Well, it is very helpful. You do not have to have an attorney or a representative in order to file a claim or have a claim for Social Security benefits. I am a non-attorney representative, which means that I have been approved by the Social Security Administration to represent claimants in a Social Security disability case. Statistically, ssa.gov has some statistics about people who file for disability benefits and the denial rate. Over half of the people who initially file are denied. And in some states like Florida and Mississippi, they have what's called a reconsideration stage. And after you're initially denied, you request reconsideration. Over 80% of those files are denied.
Wow.
And so the next step is to request a hearing before an administrative law judge. And that is when most people seek representation. You know, once they have that hearing, or at that hearing level, they're like, oh no, I need help. And over 80% of those cases are approved at that level. So that just shows you how much more having a representative assist you. If you have mental health problems, lack of social or family support, or a serious physical illness, the Social Security disability process is long and it's time consuming and it's overwhelming and it's confusing. And having someone like our office help you allows you to focus on your health and getting better, or, you know, seeking treatment, and us to focus on getting the benefits that you need.
Okay. Noelle, at what point do you recommend getting the attorney involved? At the beginning, or do you wait until you get denied? At what point would you recommend calling an attorney?
I would call an attorney as soon as you file that application. As soon as you get that application in with the Social Security office, contact us. It is a free consultation for us just to see if we're able to help you. And, you know, sometimes you can get approved at that initial level, even though over half of those cases are denied. Most of those people do not have representation.
Let me ask you this. What have you seen in terms of the climate? Are you seeing more approvals in Social Security disability claims or less? Is it getting tougher? Is it getting easier? Just a kind of a judgment call. What do you see?
I think it's getting tougher. The Social Security Administration just recently changed some other regulations, and, you know, they don't want to make it easy. So, you know, knowing all those rules, knowing those regulations, knowing what you need and what you don't need, you know, really helps when you have an attorney's office to assist you in getting what, you know, knowing what is there and what you don't need to do.
Right, right. Now, how long is the process if I am denied?
If you are initially denied in Alabama, the next step is to request a hearing before an administrative law judge, like I said. And once you request that hearing, it is about 12 to 18 months before you get a hearing date. So during that time, we work with the Social Security office to make sure they have the documentation that they need. And we try to get that hearing scheduled as soon as possible. And a lot of times we win cases without going to the hearing because we properly develop the files and we work with the hearings office to get that done.
Okay, so is a lot of the time issues because you're waiting for a hearing?
Right. Well, they're just so backlogged, and there's so
Okay.
many claims in the system that it just takes that long, and there's
Wow.
only so many judges to hear those cases.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, show me the money. At what point, if I'm approved, will I start getting the benefits?
Well, I get that question a lot. Once you go to that hearing before the judge, everybody wants to know, when am I going to get my money? When am I going to get my money?
Sure, sure.
And once again, it's a long process, and there's a backlog, and it takes at least 90 days right now to get that decision from the judge. And once you get the decision, generally, I mean, it changes case to case, but it takes about 4 to 6 weeks before you'll start getting any benefits or even know how much you're going to get when you're going to get it. If you have there's two different types of Social Security disability. If you have SSI, which is supplemental security income, you have to meet with your local office, and you have to give them your information regarding your income and resources. And so that kind of depends on you, how long you take to get that information to them or supply that, and how long it takes them to get you your appointment. If you have a disability insurance benefits claim, those are processed through a payment center in either Baltimore or Birmingham, Alabama. And those tend to go a little bit quicker, around 2 to 4 weeks, but it's still a long process no matter
Yeah.
what. But, we sit here and we help all the way.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. At what point do the benefits go back? Do they go back retroactively? Do they start the day you're approved? How's that work?
Well, it's a case-by-case basis, but in an SSI claim, it typically goes back to the date that you filed the application.
Okay.
So all this time you've been waiting, you'll
Yeah.
get retroactive benefits paid for that period of time.
And that's
In a
another reason
disability
to apply
case,
right away.
Yes, it is. And in a disability case, it can go back about 12 months prior to the date that you filed. So
Okay.
either way you're looking at it, it's really important. If you are unable to work, if you have become disabled, and the important thing is to file that claim.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I have to ask you this because I just found out that you're an Ironman triathlete.
I am.
Congratulations, that is awesome.
Thank you. I was pretty excited to complete that.
When was the first race?
My first Ironman?
Yeah, your first Ironman.
Well, my first full Ironman was in October of last year. So
Okay.
I've done some half Ironman events before then, and I have some scheduled for this year. But my first full Ironman event was this past October.
That's awesome. And what motivated you to get involved in doing that?
I just love racing. I started doing triathlons about 3 to 4 years ago. I'm just constantly wanting to improve and challenge myself in different areas, and whether it's in my work here at Gardberg Kemmerly and doing Social Security law, or in my personal life, I just enjoy it.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, Noelle, if someone has questions, how can they reach your office? What's the best number to call?
They can call 251-343-1111 or 1-800-332-1529. Or you can go online and contact us via email at www.gardberglaw.com. That's GARDBERGLAW.com. And we have a Facebook page, of course.
Excellent. Well, listen, thanks for your time today. This has been terrific information, and I'm impressed with your level of knowledge, but most of all, that you're an Ironman triathlete.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.